Architectural Builder Supply is pleased to present you with this recording of the technical question that is listed in the title of this video.
This call may be monitored and recorded for quality assurance.
And I just saw your video regarding steel stop extenders online.
Stop extenders. Okay, something you add to a soffit on a hollow metal frame?
Right. I think it's part number 9945, and I was trying to find out from you, what exactly does a steel stop extender do to help a fire rating of a door other than the intermediate stripping that you put around the door? Do you know?
Yes, I do. So if NFPA 80 has been referenced in the local code, then you are mandated to maintain maximum distances or gaps between a door and a frame. When your installation exceeds what's permissible by code, there are times when you can employ a solution such as the gap solution. So that cap is going to allow you to close up the gap, basically, by using not only steel to close the gap down, but then intumescence at the same time. Yeah, I mean, I see how that goes on, but the intermediate material goes on the door frame all the way around the perimeter. But this steel stop extender doesn't. The intermediate material doesn't have anything to do with it. It just sort of extends the door stop, but I don't see how it at all helps with the fire, smoke, or anything like that. Well, it does have everything to do with it because that's the way the assembly's been tested. So you're only permitted up to a maximum gap between the strike jamb in the door and the hinge jamb in the door and the header and the top of the door and the bottom for sure. So let's say that your maximum permissible is 1/8 of an inch. What happens if you have 3/16 or 1/4 inch or something else like that?
Yeah. So, well, I was just looking at it because here's the thing. I've got about 500 doors, and putting in this stuff with the 45-minute doors, the NGP system. The cost of that particular steel stop extender doubles the cost of actually putting the rest of the system in. I realize what you say, it was tested that way, but I'm not sure what the fire test actually does in terms of the steel stop extender stopping smoke and flame. I'm just kind of lost on that.
I don't know that it does, but the projection of the stop on a hollow metal frame is 5/8, and there are instances when it has to be greater than 5/8. So when your margin is not permitted to exceed 1/8 of an inch, let's say that you're at 1/8 of an inch, your overlay of your stop on your door is 1/2 inch. Well, when you increase the gap, you decrease that overlay, and it's the overlay becoming smaller that this extender solves. It builds out your stop.
I thought that on a wood door, if you have a 45-minute fire on a wood door, the wood door may tend to shrink. Is that part of it?
Yes, sir. Well, it is indirectly, and that's why the tolerances for wood doors are actually smaller, permissible gaps than a steel door, because the steel door is going to shrink less. But you're right. Yeah, the wood door is going to move.
The 1/8 of an inch
too, but a steel door will get bigger.
So the 1/8 of an inch is what we've got. We've got much more than 1/8 of an inch on almost 500 doors that were replaced on a condominium building. Yeah. And we're looking for 45 minutes. And I appreciate your YouTube. It was pretty good. But I just looking at the details as an engineer, I just understand what the damn steel stop does. And I guess what you're saying is that it provides a certain amount of
it provides
cushion in terms of the stop.
It provides compliance with code. So if you keep your engineering hat on, here's the question. If there's a door closer installed on a fire-rated door and the plastic cover is missing, do you still have a fire-rated door? Your engineer hat's going to say, absolutely, I do. However, you're wrong. And the reason you're wrong is that's not the way it was tested.
Right.
So it's, extending the stop allows you to stay in compliance. Having said all that, as you likely know, the authority having jurisdiction could tell you, no, I'm not going to accept that NGP solution. So you'd run it up that person's flagpole, before anything else.
The authority having jurisdiction, they don't take any liability. It's us engineers that wind up with a liability of what we do, what we don't do.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So I guess what I'm going to have to do is get into the NGP fire test and see the kind of fire test that they actually performed where they have that steel stop extender on, and find out how they did that with either the 10C or 10B tests, that sort of thing. But I understand what you're saying, that, that's the way it was tested, so that's the way it's got to be, the 3 parts of it. I'm still trying to find out what the hell it actually it does in terms of making the fire door more fire rated. But you've partially answered my question. I do appreciate you taking the call.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's nothing to say that your door would fail a fire test, but your door's not been tested, and that's the issue. Forgive me. Go ahead.
I might even go to the trouble of having a fire test done, and it could cost about $10,000, but we're talking about $200,000 to put in these damn steel strips.
I wouldn't even pull the rope on that flag on the flagpole. I would review NFPA 80 and.
Oh, I got it here. The only thing it says is 1/8 of an inch. I just when you're dealing with a door frame, a steel door frame that's maybe 40 years old on a building, and you are trying to put these strips in, these door stop extenders, you've got to grind that frame smooth. You got to grind it down. It's a big deal, even though it's self-tapping screws. It's just.
Why do you have to grind it down?
Well, if it has any kind of if it's not exactly plain, I assume you would have to grind it down, and then. Also, the doors open in; they don't open out. Normally you have a corridor, and you would think the fire doors would open out to get the hell out of the apartment, but they open in, and so you have positive pressure. You have positive pressure on the doors anyway, to keep the smoke in if the fire's in a unit. And I still don't see what the door stop extenders on the outside are going to do.
They allow you to bring the gap between the edge of the door and the frame to within compliance, because you're also using that spacer that's there to put underneath your strike plate, and you're building out the strike plate as well.
Okay.
So that there's lots of conversations that can be had. So when I sit in, certified fire door assembly inspector class, we could go on all day about, that doesn't make sense. The plastic cover on a closer, that's going to melt within, 120 seconds. Why does that matter? It's just, it's what the paperwork says.
All right. I guess I'll try to get the NGP people aren't that responsive because of the, everybody staying home and all of that.
I don't know. I just got a really large quote from them yesterday. They were responsive. I don't know. I can't explain. I don't call them very often.
Yeah. Well, once again, I appreciate your video. Thanks a lot, Richard. I'm in Miami. I'm down here in Miami, in the virus capital of the world.
Yeah, well, for now it is.
Yeah. Take care.
Thanks.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Architectural Builders Supply hopes you have enjoyed this program. Again, thank you for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, please click thumbs up, please subscribe, and maybe even send the video to someone that you know. Thank you.